Facebook land. We're going to start this month's nutrition talk talking about a beginner's guide to meal prepping. John's going to start out. We're just going to do a little bit of housekeeping. He's going to talk to you guys about the events that are coming up soon. If you want to join the nutrition talk, like where we can see your face and you can join the conversation, I will put the link in the comments on this. I will also link to the, what is it called? The resource that I have for this talk this month. So put those links in. Don, take it away.
Thanks, Heather. Hey, I think it's been a busy couple of months. We've just barely finished up with the first 3 weeks of the CrossFit Open, and if anybody qualifies from the gym, we'll have further workouts to go for the quarterfinals. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. We have the Jesus WOD, which is next week and weekend, so it'll be Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday morning. It's a pretty difficult workout. I highly recommend not doing the full as written version and just getting into it. But it was really weird last year. I know we all had to do it kind of on our own, and me and Yvonne did it in our garage. And the year before was so much sweeter with everybody in the gym. And now that the quarantine is over and we can come back together, I'm really looking forward to it. It's not required by any means. You don't have to, one, you don't have to be in CrossFit to do the workout, and two, you don't have to be a follower of Jesus to really get a lot out of it. It's a pretty incredible workout. Somebody once said that everything's just that we do is just getting ready for the Jesus WOD, because it is pretty difficult. But it takes about an hour to an hour and a half to finish. And it does. It's good. It's a good meditation. It's just good community time. It's a great sweat, and that'll be next Thursday, Friday night, and Saturday morning would be the Hero WOD for Saturday, as we go into Easter on Sunday. Then at the end of the month, we have Festivus Games. We're looking at getting around 20 teams registered for it. I think we're about halfway there right now, and I know that there's 3 or 4 more on the fence. It should be a really good time. It's just one day of competition, a 3-person team. All guys or all girls, and you come in, walk in, you get checked in. Hopefully you get a t-shirt. If you've registered in time, you get that. And then you come in, we do all the workouts in one day. It's not a multiple day event. You get all the workouts done. And then we have a podium time. We have some good sponsors to provide some great swag for all the winners. And then you go and you're done. Should have some vendors out. Should have at least 1 or 2 food trucks there, and we should have maybe some good mobility and recovery on the sidelines. People to talk to. If you want to be a vendor, if you want to be a food truck at our event, please reach out to me directly, john@cfthrone.com, or on here on Facebook. And then shortly after Festivus Games is Memorial Day.
So Festivus will be the 24th, is that what you said?
Oh yeah, April 24th. It's just one day. Thank you, Heather. April 24th. It's just Saturday. And you're done. I think we start at 8. You should be done by 4:00. And then shortly after that, we have Memorial Day coming up. That'll be in May, of course, but it feels like it's just right after April 24th. April 24th is the last Saturday in April, and then of course Memorial Day, it's the last Monday in May. So we've got about a month between those, but should be a pretty busy season, and especially as kids are finishing up, graduation's coming around. I know I've got one kid graduating and others do too, so I don't know, it's just going to be a busy season. Just want to encourage you guys to, if you can meal prep, to do it. It's kind of a segue into this. As things get busy, if you don't have a plan, what is it? Failing to plan is planning to fail. And And I think that that's never more true than when we're really, really busy. It's always good to have some good staples in the freezer, but and then fresh food is always best. So if you've got some fresh foods prepped and ready, quick meals, the best fast food is is prepped food at home, and that's just basically all I'll say. But then I'll throw it to Heather and we'll go from there. Thanks, Heather.
So do you already have a schedule lined out for Murph?
I do not.
Okay.
I'm working. I don't know. Hopefully I'll have Jesus Wide done this weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well, I put those 3 events just in the comments on this Facebook Live. So
okay,
everybody
cool.
there if they want it.
That'd be great.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen for the presentation. All right. So today's talk is a beginner's guide to meal prepping. Like John mentioned, I'm sure you've heard the phrase that a failure to plan is just a wish. I'm sorry, a goal without a plan is just a wish. And having a failure to plan is a plan for failure. So, somewhere in there, you got to find a good balance between what are your priorities, and being able to meal prep is one of those things that it can be pretty intimidating. People can get really overly obsessive about meal prepping, or you can keep it super simple. So I'm going to talk about keeping it super simple, because that's one of our goals is something as foundational as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. We try to keep it as simple as possible, because making those small sustainable changes to your diet is going to be where the magic's at as far as reaching your goals and being able to do it so that it will lead to sustainable changes, like changes in your physique and changes in your overall health and changes in the way that your family is able to support you, all of those things. So here's my confession as a nutrition coach. I have struggled with nutrition. And one of the reasons most recently that I struggled with nutrition is because it wasn't because I didn't know what to do, but because I failed to plan. So if you guys don't know me already, my name is Heather DeVore. I'm the nutrition coach and one of the fitness coaches at CrossFit Throne. Welcome to the nutrition talk for this month. We try to do this at least once a month. Right now, my goal is to do it every month. The last Saturday of the month at noon seems to be the time that's most convenient for people. So we're going to talk about 5 easy steps to meal prepping like a pro. And this is, in other words, 5 steps to turn your wish with your goal into your goal with the right plan. So, like I mentioned a moment ago, we believe that something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. When you look at the fitness pyramid, you can see that nutrition is the foundation, and it should be the foundation for everything that we do. Because if you have everything else in place, but you have a rocky foundation, it's difficult to progress. Those people in the gym that already have the strength, and they have the maybe a little bit of the gymnasty, and they've got the metabolic conditioning and everything down. But when we just make little tweaks to their nutrition, it completely changes the game. So let's circle back to that confession that I had. As I stated, I knew what the right foods were to eat, but I wasn't always making it easy to make the right choices. So I know a lot of you probably had a long day at work or just out running errands, and the last thing that you think about is what is going to be for dinner that night. So if you've ever gotten home only to realize that you forgot to maybe set out some meat to defrost to cook for dinner, or you just maybe skipped out on having those extra veggies on hand. And who has time to chop veggies right before you're going to make dinner? I've been there. So this this helped me to easily drop into that mindset of, oh, I'll just order something for dinner, or I'll just, grab the quick and easy food. Maybe those cookies that are in the pantry will be a good snack while I'm figuring out what to actually make for dinner. Or ordering pizza. That's usually where we kind of default to. So if you've been there, this nutrition talk is going to be for you. Meal prepping for success is a must for your health and wellness goals. And in fact, there's a study that's been published in the International Journal of Behavioral Nutrition and Physical Activity back in 2017 that found that meal prepping or meal planning is associated with some really great benefits, like having an overall food variety and quality. And more specifically, it's associated with lower odds of being overweight and obese for women and for being obese for men. So it's important, and let's talk about those 5 easy steps. If you guys want that article, I've got the link for you. So step number 1, you want to pick out 3 staple recipes that are going to look good to you, something that you think your family will also support. Step 1 requires a little bit of research. So I've got here a picture of our website. If you guys haven't been on the website in a while, we updated it and we added nutrition information and we added recipes. I'll pull the recipes up and show you guys because I think it's pretty awesome what we've done on the website. So let me share my screen here. Okay, so on CrossFit Thrones website, when you go to the recipes, it's pretty awesome because, we've joked kind of about anytime that you look up a recipe, you have to read somebody's life story, about their grandmother's favorite Italian recipe, whatever that they grew up with. But what's cool here is that you can just go to the website, you can click on the recipe, and it's there. Super easy. So like this recipe right here, egg roll in a bowl. This is our recipe of the month that we've got hanging up in the bathrooms, where you can just point your camera at the QR code and they'll take you straight to this recipe. Super easy. There's a video here. It talks about it, nutrition facts. A lot of the recipes on the website, you can also, let me find a good one that I know. A lot of these recipes, when you pull it up, you can tell it how many servings you want. And you can change the servings and it changes the recipe, which is super cool. So anyways, nerd out on the website. Lots of recipes are up there and most of them are super simple, super easy recipes and it's free. Ideally, takes a little bit of research to find the recipes that you want, or you can always go with your family favorites. But this is the fun part. Imagine that if you planned for prepping 1 breakfast and 2 meals with a focus on protein and a starchy side dish, not only would you have some tasty food to look forward to, but it's easier on those days when you're super busy and you just don't have enough energy or you don't have the time to plan out a meal. So front loading a little bit of work on getting those recipes ready can make your future self very happy. So if you're not sure where to start, again, check out our website with all the amazing recipes that are broken down into categories for you. So we've got like breakfast, lunch, snacks. There's even a section for vegetarian meals. And just look for some that may be your family favorites eventually. These are some of my favorites that are on the website. If you love eggs, try the egg muffins. One of the tricks that I've found is that you can make those egg muffins not just in like a muffin pan, but you can also make I found this super cool like silicone egg shaped thing that you can put in the pressure cooker and cook them in like 5 minutes. So easy.
That's great.
And you can take them and then just throw them in the freezer and then throw them in the microwave the morning of, and it's ready. And there's your protein for the morning. So those are a great go-to breakfast for mornings when you're in a rush. And it's a great place that you can also add extra veggies. So I'm a big fan of like mushroom, onion, bell pepper, tomato, throw it into my egg whites in the morning. And you can make those ahead and save a lot of time. Next, you want to choose 2 different proteins because let's face it, protein is usually a big barrier for a lot of people when it comes to mealtime. And that's because it takes the longest amount of time to cook. So you have to also, a lot of times you have to add extra defrost time and then you forget about it. But having your protein already pre-chosen and made will make it easier for you to make the right choices whenever you're hungry. So if you have healthy options available, it's more convenient than running out and getting fast food. So one of the super easy recipes that's on our website is going to be pulled chicken. So that's what we see in this picture. This kiddo is helping with some pulled chicken in the crock pot. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and then another one that they always recommend is the meatloaf muffins, and that's one of y'all's favorites, right? Meat muffins.
Yeah, we use them on a regular. I mean, when we do, it's way better than meatloaf.
Yeah. Well, and then it's individually packed, so that's really a key with kids is having foods that are like portable. Those kids that are on the go. You want to be able to have food that you can just like, hey, there's food, just grab it, keep running, and so having like the meatloaf muffins, they're small individual pieces that you can make sure that they're getting enough protein.
Yeah.
So last, you want to have your start to side dish. So if anybody that's watching this today has had a nutrition consult with me, you know that I'm a big advocate for the plate method. So we have half of our plate, the non-starchy veggies, 1/4 of your plate is protein, and then 1/4 of your plate is going to be some type of a healthy starch side dish. So these are all great options. The roasted butternut squash is one of my favorites. It's so easy. It's only 3 ingredients. I mean, it's butternut squash, which you can buy butternut squash pre-chopped from the produce section, like in a bag, or you can even find it frozen pre-chopped, which is like life-changing. So easy. And all you do is like salt and cinnamon. That's it. And it's so good. And then the garlic mashed cauliflower, that was our recipe of the month last month, I think, maybe the month before. Hello, Harley. The dog's like, no more mowing. And then buffalo cauliflower, super easy as well. So, of course, most families that starch is going to be the family favorite. So these are all good go-to for my family. And the cinnamon is like one of those things, I don't know what it is about it, but I crave cinnamon. So being able to have a little bit of, because it adds sweet to it without adding extra carbs or extra calories. So that roasted butternut squash is great.
That's great.
So as you pick out your recipes, you want to make sure you take inventory of the tools that you have on hand. So that helps with being efficient with your time. So you're not constantly waiting for one dish to finish so that you can start the next. Like being able to have multiple appliances running at one time. So if you only have one crock pot, don't pick out 2 crock pot meals to make. but you can do like the crock pot, something in the oven. If you have a pressure cooker, that's separate as well. Those are awesome tools to use. And then having like the egg roll in a bowl, you can do. I do my egg roll in a bowl in the pressure cooker. And what's cool, like it's crazy because when I saw the recipe for this from one of our mentors on her Instagram,
Yeah.
she put in the description that you set the pressure cooker for 0 minutes, and I was like, what? Like, does that even work? And what it does is it takes it up to pressure and then cools down, and it's like the perfect amount of time to cook the cabbage. So
Oh, wow.
it's super good. But not doing all of this extra work, you're not only going to have a fridge full of meals for the week, but it's in this like all done at one time, so it's like time saving. Um, so different tools that we recommend that you have for meal prepping is going to be a mixing bowl, a crock pot, air fryer if you have one, muffin tin, roasting pans are all really good tools to have. So step number 2, you want to plan your staples like your snacks and your veggies. So once I have a few recipes made, then you compare them with your veggies for the week. So this is one of the pictures that I took during our performance nutrition challenge to share with everybody. Like this is one of my favorite ways to make cauliflower or broccoli. And this is literally just like broccoli and salt and some type of cooking spray. Super easy. Like all I do is I take the frozen broccoli, spray it with cooking spray, and then sprinkle coarse salt on it. And the first time I did this, my husband was like, wow, what did you put on this broccoli? And I said, salt.
Yeah, we even we added everything bagel seasoning to ours too, and it's because I think it's salt free. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So we've started to spice it up a little bit different, but that works great for us too.
Yes, super easy. And I'm a go-to for like frozen veggies because they're so easy. And like one thing that like a discussion that I had with my brother-in-law when they were here this last week, he was talking about like I keep buying veggies and then they go bad in the fridge because he's not using them fast enough. And I said, well, here's
Right.
what I do is I go through and I chop my veggies for the week. And when I get down to the end of the week and I'm like, oh, I didn't use all of my carrots and celery, I'll chop it up smaller, throw it in the freezer. And then I've got my own meal prepped celery and cauliflower, or I mean, celery and carrots that I just add the onions and throw in the crock pot. And I've got some chicken noodle soup, you know.
Yeah.
So buying veggies either pre-frozen or buying them fresh and then deciding I'm not going to make this before it gets funky in the fridge and throwing it in the freezer is going to be time saving as well. Save you a little bit of money. So that's a good staple veggie side for my family. And then you want to also have some balanced and healthy snacks that are like quick grab and go. That's a lot healthier than like grab and go bags of goldfish.
Right.
And so instead of having just mindless snacks in the pantry, you want to have some type of fruit like apples or bananas, your favorite nut butters. Grapes are good with a few almonds on the side. Just having some easy grab and go options is going to be great. So that way, when you have a busy day on the go, you've got some snacks ready for that. So a few great examples are going to be low sugar Greek yogurt, turkey jerky with some fruit, deli meat that's rolled up with avocado and bell pepper. My go-to snack is going to be frozen fruit that has thawed out with some like Greek, fat-free Greek yogurt, fat-free cottage cheese, and then I add almonds to it for to add some fat back into it. That's a healthy plant-based fat. Next,
I was gonna add in real quick. I think just falling on my own sword a little bit. Yeah, I do have a box of goldfish in the pantry for the kids,
So
but the fresh fruit and the regular healthy options help those processed options really last a lot longer, and the kids are not always just grabbing those.
right.
So because I mean, with we've got two teenagers and a 9-year-old, and if it was just goldfish, I think they probably could live on goldfish and peanut butter. They wouldn't feel very great, but they could do it.
Yes.
So but to so have that stuff on hand. Yeah, okay. Just being a real dad, yeah, we've got some on hand for our boys, but mixing that up with real food is very, very useful. And two, you don't want to buy a bunch of fresh, like you said earlier, you don't want to buy a bunch of fresh food and let it go bad.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. So step number 3, whenever you're meal prepping, is that you want to do an inventory of your pantry and refrigerator. Figure out what you already have before you go to the grocery store. So, because I know that I'm not the only one. You get excited about a meal and then you realize you're missing just one ingredient for that meal, or
Yep.
you got home from grocery shopping. Like we always do this. We have a constantly running grocery list. And you get home from the grocery store and realize, oh, we just ran out of this. Like I just poured the last milk. Nobody told me it was gone. So the easiest way to avoid this is doing an inventory of what you have. And you've already picked out your recipes for the week. You've picked out your veggies and your snacks for the week. So now you know this is what I need to have this week. I'm going to look in the fridge, look in the pantry, look in the freezer, figure out what do I have already, and then what do I need to fill in the blanks. So, so here is a great resource that we have if you guys want me to send this to you. This kind of breaks down your grocery list into the different categories of things that we know that we need for the week. So we need to have protein. We want to have our non-starchy veggies. We want to have our healthy starches, including fruit. And then there's kind of that everything else, like we need some laundry detergent. Don't eat that. Don't eat Tide Pods. So step number 4, after you've made your grocery list and you've verified what you do and don't need from the store to fill in the blanks for your recipes, you go grocery shopping. So this is my grocery shopping cart from when we did the Performance Nutrition Challenge. It was one of the things that we talked about was like actually going to we did a grocery store tour, and we walked through and we talked about like, how do you know which poultry to buy, or which items in the produce section do I need to buy organic, and which ones are okay to buy non-organic, and how do I clean everything. So this was my grocery list from that week.
Yeah.
So it seems like an obvious step, but now we should be ready to hit the aisles with your list in hand. So pro tip that I gave out during the nutrition challenge was never shop hungry and don't shop with hungry kids, because that's where you can get into big trouble. And then you want to always try to stick to a grocery list when you can. But when you shop hungry or you shop with hungry kids, lots of things end up in the grocery cart, like bags of chips, cookies, things like that happen when you shop on an empty stomach. So you want to stay focused on your list. Try to stick to the perimeter of the store if you can. That's where you're going to find the most lean meats, whole foods like fruits, vegetables, and dairy. And before you add it to your grocery cart, you want to make sure you take a look at the nutrition label. So we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition labels. It's a common mistake not looking at the label and making an informed choice. Have you ever wondered why certain foods have packaging placed in a certain part of the store with certain health claims? There's people who make a whole lot of money trying to create eye-catching products that encourage you to buy them. And sometimes those claims that they make are true but misleading. So you want to make sure that you're understanding the health claims that they're making on the labels. So a great example, you see a product that says reduced sugar, and at first that seems like it means that it's a good choice and something that does not have sugar in it. But reduced sugar just means that it has 25% less sugar than the original of that product.
Yeah. Huh.
If it's a strawberry Pop Tart that originally has 30 grams of sugar per package, then the reduced sugar has 23 grams. That's still a lot of sugar. So the recommended amount of sugar per day is 24 grams for women and 36 grams per day for men. So that's nearly a full day's worth of sugar, even though it says on the package reduced sugar.
Right.
So having kind of an understanding of what all those things mean is really important. So here's a nutrition label. We're going to kind of go through all the different pieces and talk about it. You know, a lot of people ask me, like, how do you read a nutrition label? And that's a great question. So first thing you want to look at is the serving information. All of the following information is based on that one serving. So when you look at a serving of ice cream, it's going to be 1/2 cup, not the entire pint. And
Right.
you want to make sure you get back to an understanding of what a proper portion is. And that's going to be step number 1 when reading a label. So next you want to look at how many calories there are in that one serving. So that's going to tell you how much energy you're going to get from the food, because calories are going to provide your body with energy. And calories are not a bad thing and they're not a good thing. They're just what they are. They're just energy. So next you want to look at the details, starting with saturated fat, sodium, and added sugars. So I usually try to find products that are minimally processed, which means that they're going to be lower in all 3 of those things. So you want to find micronutrients in them in your food as well, such as vitamin D, calcium, iron, and other things like that. And you would look at the percentage of the daily value. So that percentage of the daily value for each nutrient in the food is going to help you to understand if the product's good for a certain micronutrient, or if it's going to be high in things like fat or some other macronutrient. So pro tip on reading nutrition labels is when you're looking at the ingredients list, it's going to be listed in order of like what the quantity is of something in a product. So if corn syrup is going to be your first or second ingredient, then that means it's got more sugar in it than anything else. So I think the thing that I look at on this label that stands out the most to me is that this, whatever this product is all sugar. It's 27 grams of carbs, and of that, 23 grams is added sugar. So whatever this product is probably, I would say it's probably like a juice or something, because it's in mils. So that's like 1 cup of whatever this is that you're drinking. But lots and lots of added sugar to that. So step number 5, whenever we're meal prepping, is going to be actually meal prepping. So how many times have you gotten all the food and then it just goes bad in the fridge? You know, we talked about this a second ago. I've done this. We've all done this at some point. So, you know, probably more often than I'd like to admit it. So a great pro tip is to block out some time after you've done all of your shopping and your planning and everything, and actually prep those meals. So once you get home, block out an hour or so to bring everything in, and then just dive right into prepping the meals as much as you can and your snacks that you've planned for. You want to get your crock pot ready for the pulled chicken, get the oven started so you can make those egg muffins, and then start rinsing and chopping your fruits and veggies so that they can be just as convenient as all of those pre-packaged processed foods that you've got available. So remembering from earlier, timing is everything. You wouldn't want to plan to make 2 crock pot meals at the same time if you only have 1 crock pot. So be sure you're planning foods that you can simultaneously prep to become the most efficient. So here's a great like breakdown of sample. So you want to start your pulled chicken in the crock pot. That's going to take you 10 minutes to prep it and about 4 hours to cook. And then at the same time, you can top all the veggies for your egg muffins. It's going to take you about 25 minutes. And while those are in the oven, you can get the stove heated up to make your egg roll in a bowl. And that takes no more than 15 minutes. And then as everything's finishing up the cook times, you can go back to finishing up rinsing and chopping and portioning out any veggies and fruits that you've purchased for the week. And then get them all put in the fridge and ready to go. And that way you're able to implement your plan that you've made. So here's another way that you can buy like whatever is on sale for the week and still have some variety in your week as far as meal prepping goes. So here's 5 different ways that you can make ground turkey. We've got egg roll in a bowl, turkey burger, meatloaf muffin, some turkey meatballs made with quinoa, and then chili stuffed acorn squash. And all 5 of these recipes are available on the nutrition recipe section of CrossFit Thrones website. You can kind of change things up using the same ingredients with different sauces and seasonings. Like for example, when I make an egg roll in a bowl, it's basically the same ingredients as making, or not egg roll in a bowl, spaghetti, mushroom, onion, bell pepper, tomato, same exact ingredients that I put in my tacos, just a different seasoning. I'll use like an Italian seasoning rather than taco seasoning. So just changing things up a little bit, using different sauces, different seasonings can take the same ingredients and make them taste a little bit different, give you a little bit more variety, and make it easier to get through the week with a little bit of variety. So I hope that you guys got some good information here, and that you're able to take this and implement it as we get super busy in this next season of CrossFit with our all the events that are coming up.
Yay.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to add, John?
I was going to say, when we first started getting into meal prepping, we picked our meals that we were going to prep for. And then, we just kind of kept them on the ready in the freezer or the fridge. But then for me, I had to get at the gym at 5 a.m. and I wasn't able to get away from the gym. And so I needed breakfast or else that was just going to be really a terrible meal for me. And I just starved like I usually did.
Yeah.
So I kind of just decided, well, I'll prep breakfast. And it was that was the main crux. So I didn't prep all the meals. I'd spend like maybe a half hour, an hour prepping breakfast for the week. And now it's, to almost to the point where it takes 10 minutes in the evening for me to prep the next day's breakfast and I'm good. And I mean, I've got it down pretty easy.
Yeah.
But I think that when you're first getting started with meal prepping, it makes it so much easier just to pick that one meal. Like, what is it? Is it lunch? Are you going to be at the office, stuck at a desk in a chair? You got a break room? Maybe. You might be able to get away for 30 minutes, maybe, and your friends are all talking about going to, Burger King or Schlotzsky's and they're eating all this heavy food. If you could have, really the low hanging fruit for meal prep for beginners is just pick that one meal, either breakfast or lunch or dinner even. Gosh, if you have a hard time not going out to eat with your wife and kids in the evenings and just, because it's so easy just to say, the day was crazy, I can't think about food, let's just go somewhere. If you could just pick one meal for the week to make sure you have laid out, easy prep, ready to go right after you get off the grocery store, then it's maybe an hour of time. And I think that's the best way to just get your toes wet. I mean, for anybody listening or watching, just get your toes wet with that one meal. And it's so much. I thought I had to prep all my meals. I would be kind of worn out.
Yeah.
But I think that a lot of people should be, just think what would be easy, that take that low hanging fruit. Is it breakfast? Is it lunch? Is it dinner? And do that. That's the only thing I'd add. Everything else, we went on that grocery store visit. I hope people can go back and watch that video. There's so many awesome things that we've started sharing through the nutrition program. And I mean, I know, the older I get, I mean, I've just turned 47 this year, but the older I get, the more I pay attention to what goes into my mouth, the better I'm able to perform in the gym, the better I'm able to sleep, the better I'm able to recover and get up the next day, the more energy I have to spend with my wife and kids. And those just aren't optional. Well, then you talk about, say somebody younger, say they're in their 20s or 30s, if they can get this dialed in, they're going to feel amazing. I can't even imagine, like, if I had not been eating junk in my 20s or 30s, how well I would have felt if I had been doing these things. So there's a lot of value there, and I just hope a lot of people get it. You've done a great job.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that for me, like, the one meal that I prep every single day is breakfast. And really, I keep it super simple. Like, my breakfast that I have meal prep is overnight oats. So I've got some old fashioned oats that I drop into a little container, and then I just fill it up with some almond milk and set it in the fridge, and that's it.
It's
And then,
great.
and depending on the day, I will change the amount of egg whites that I add to it. I actually put it all into one container. So almond milk, oats, and egg whites. And I just put it all in one container. And usually I'll add either apple pie spice or pumpkin pie spice, just because I want that sweet added to it that I'm used to. Because I used to do those little packets of oatmeal, but
Yeah.
that's got added sugar in it. And so I
Yeah.
want the sweet, but the extra, like, um, flavor of the pre-packaged oatmeal, but without the extra chemicals and the extra sugar. So I started adding pumpkin pie spice to it. And that, just that one meal being prepped has been just reassuring. Like, when I finish with the gym, I can come home and just or take it with me, because it's one cup that takes a minute and a half in the microwave.
That's great.
And I've got my carbs, and I've got some protein in there, and it's just like the perfect recovery meal for me from working out. And I mean, we've talked about this. We talked about this in the Performance Nutrition Challenge. Is that having carbs and protein immediately following a workout is going to be the best way that you can help your body to recover from the workout, because you want to replenish those glycogen stores that have been depleted in having these crazy workouts like yesterday. Oh my goodness, and then having the protein to repair your muscles that you've broken down just a little bit during the workout. And when I stay on track and make sure that just that one meal is meal prepped every single day of the week, every day that I plan to go to the gym, then I am not sore ever. And it's great.
Yeah.
So it can make a big difference. Nutrition truly can make a big difference. Like, I here this last week or so, I don't remember what we were celebrating. I think just like the 1 year anniversary of the pandemic hitting Lubbock, that we had the hospital, wanted to celebrate the heroes that have been there through all of it, the people that work in the hospital that have persevered through the difficulty of this unprecedented time. And they had a what they called a hero break, and they brought in great options. Like, they brought us coffee and donuts.
Yay.
And the donuts, I can walk past them. I'm okay with that, because they give me instant heartburn anyways. But just this exposure of the sugar, I did make a few poor choices this last week and had some extra sugar on Sunday. And I feel like it's taken me 3 days to recover from that. But anyways, so nutrition can make a big difference, cutting back on those, the chemicals that are available in all those super easy, quick fix, go-to foods that we've got, which we can hopefully replace by meal prepping, is going to be really important.
Right. That's right. all to help people feel better in their own skin.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Good stuff, man.
So I will, as soon as we decide on what the next nutrition talk's going to be, we'll get everything posted at the gym, all the links for people to register and everything. I will get this video rendered and I will get it shared on our YouTube channel, where you can see all of our other nutrition talks that we've done. We now have like 12, I think, up there that I've done through the first and the second challenge, as well as the ones that I've done each month. So there's a lot of really good information if you guys want to watch it. I've opened them all up to public now, so you can watch them for free.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a good day.